having the most advanced and creative solutions could make all the difference. Now we'll take a look at one company that stands out.
Welcome to the show. I'm Jana Burgess. From PayPal to JP Morgan, there are more public companies and large banks that are focusing on rolling out new products that are making Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for day-to-day purchases a reality. However, the technical nature of cryptocurrency can still be daunting for some people. Joining us today is Edmund McCormack, founder and CEO of Dchained, to discuss his company's revolutionary cryptocurrency platform. The platform simplifies crypto investing and empowers people of all ages to make smarter, more confident decisions regarding their financial planning. Welcome, Edmund.
Thanks, Jana, for having me.
Now, Edmund, cryptocurrency is one of those words that we all hear from time to time, yet so many people are not quite sure what it means. Can you give us a little intro into cryptocurrency and explain why this is something we should know more about?
Yeah, simply put, cryptocurrency is just digital cash that you could use for goods and services. And the fact is that we are using digital currency more and more every day without even realizing it. And this is ultimately the next evolution of it. And what I mean by that is you see, in today's changing world with COVID, less people are wanting to use actual physical cash. And what you're seeing is more people who are opting for either cashless options in store or actually shopping online. And what cryptocurrency allows you to do is it provides you a more private, more secure, and ultimately a more stable, for many places in the world, type of currency that you could use for day-to-day purchases. And of course, it'll be a lot easier with those companies that you mentioned in the beginning.
And how exactly does Dchained help investors get started?
We focus on really providing the fundamentals to help bridge the gap between people who have heard about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and don't know how to get involved, all the way through people who are already investing, but simply just don't have the time to keep up with how fast this market changes and all the news that comes out. So what we wanted to do is to be that trusted source where people can build their knowledge base and then continue to come back to us each day to find objective, up-to-date information to keep them up to speed in the market.
Now, is your platform primarily for investors new to cryptocurrency?
It was built for people who are new to provide courses and guides for them to learn and to understand some of the terms that they found foreign. But what we've done is we've actually added a few different elements that have been a big utility for people who are already in the space, such as the analysis that we put out on a daily basis, as well as the community that we've built. And it's a really big part of our overall membership where people can share information together. And we have a nice mix of both investors, experts in the space, and people who are just kicking the tires and really a little bit timid on what this space holds when it comes to investing options.
Now, I know your motto is crypto made simple. How do you break down this relatively new and fairly complex concept so that everyone, including those new to investing, can understand it?
The terms crypto and blockchain sound very foreign to a lot of people. But to be honest, and I like to draw this parallel, in the 90s, so did www and URL. The main takeaway here is that despite the fact that even today, most people couldn't tell you how the internet works, the same holds true for blockchain and crypto. You don't need to know how the back-end technicals work in order to know that there are companies that are seeing this new technology and delivering new ways to bring value to customers in ways that they couldn't before. And with that, as an investor, your goal is to be able to identify those companies and to be able to invest in them as a potential opportunity to take advantage of their future earnings, their future profits. And if you followed sort of this model back in the 90s and you looked at who was doing it then, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, you'd be doing pretty well today. And the fact is that the opportunity at our hand now with this next evolution of technology could be even greater. And that's what we want to help investors understand is, just because you don't have a computer science degree doesn't mean you can't get involved in the space. the fundamentals are the same as it would be in stock investing. It really comes down to being able to identify companies, people, and opportunities.
And what are some of the features that investors will find on the Dchain platform?
On the Dchain site, what you're going to find are a number of things. So first and foremost, you're going to find all of the different guides and overviews that we've created to help map out what the cryptocurrency market looks like. So right now there's over 150 guides ranging from what is blockchain all the way through how to read some more advanced financial indicators. But on top of that, we want to build an enthusiastic community, and we want to be a destination where people can come to not only consume information but also share it as well. So with that, we have a number of different features, such as our forum, where we combine investors, members, and experts in the space to share information and help each other position themselves to do very well as an investor in cryptocurrencies. And you also will see our live Q&As. And this is something that I personally host every Tuesday night, where I address questions that our members have, whether it's the very fundamentals or more of a POV on what's going on in the market that day. And the idea there is that we not only want to be able to provide the information, but we want our members to have access to us. It's one thing to see my face on the website. It's another thing to be able to reach out and ask me questions and get a response in real time. So to be able to provide high quality content, access that is really hard to find elsewhere on the internet, and to be able to do it and in an inclusive manner. We could have priced this to be very, very expensive for all the content that we're giving away, but we wanted to make it affordable for really anybody, because when you think about what the potential of cryptocurrency has, it has a potential, one of the greatest distribution of wealth opportunities when it comes to investing that we really haven't seen in many decades.
Now, Edmund, how did you get interested in cryptocurrency and come up with the idea for Dchained?
I've been in the tech industry for about 15 years. I've been involved with cryptocurrency for about a decade. And what formed Dchain was actually two different events that happened in my life. One of which was one of the most exciting and actually one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen, which was in 2016, when the tech industry was a bit in flux because of all the things going on with consumer privacy. We saw that Bitcoin went through what's can better be described as a digital gold rush. And I personally saw a lot of friends and family who saw this opportunity as a potential lotto ticket, got involved in something that they really didn't understand from a development standpoint or financial perspective. And ultimately what happened was that what started out as $400 in early 2016 and ended at $20,000 at the start of 2018, which is about a 44,000% increase. We saw that it lost value about 81%. So a lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of people close to me lost a lot of money and ultimately suffered some pretty nasty financial strain. And at the same time, I was reading a book called Man's Search for Meaning. It's one of the best books I've ever read. And it really talks about finding something that brings you purpose in life, and seeing what happened to friends and family of mine, and thinking about how I could have helped change the course of those events. Really brought the idea that if we could have delivered that information to them in a way that was easy to understand, I think that a lot of them could have avoided the circumstances that unfortunately befell them. So that's really where the idea of Dchain came about. It was really to help people around me to understand the crypto space, and then the idea of, well, maybe other people could benefit from this as well.
So Edmund, what advice would you give to potential investors who may feel that cryptocurrency is too new or risky?
Well, I would say, just look at who's getting involved today and who's making news when it comes to cryptocurrency. Historically, it's been retail investors, and it's been people like myself standing on soapboxes and telling you to buy Bitcoin. But luckily, I don't have to do that as much. You have people from PayPal and Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan who not only are packaging it up for themselves, but they're coming on to cable news and business news channels and saying that this is where they're putting their money and this is where they're investing in. So I would say, look at really where the institutional investors are moving their funds and moving their customers to. And ultimately, I think you'll see that this is a space that's quickly legitimized within the last 12 months.
It's fascinating to see how you've managed to take a potentially complicated subject and make it accessible for people who might otherwise miss out on a great investment opportunity. What do you see in the future for Dchained and for cryptocurrency overall?
I see us, really following the trend, which is we're going to see more individuals, especially as COVID continues and people face some economic strain, starting to look at alternative investment vehicles to help build up their portfolio. The fact is that one of the most susceptible groups right now when it comes to investing are retirement age investors. This is a group that has historically relied on conservative assets like bonds to help fuel income for them to live their day-to-day. And the fact is that with practices such as quantitative easing, which is simply the US government and governments around the world increasing the supply of money to help prop up their governments, those yields and that income that would have been coming in from bonds have all but dried up. So, where I see, cryptocurrency, coming in is being a source of alternative investments that people can add to their portfolio as a means of bringing in income. And at the same time, we're seeing a lot of, proven Silicon Valley entrepreneurs who are actually taking the route of building companies on top of blockchain instead of the traditional route of going out, getting venture capital funding, and then going IPO. We're going to see a lot more of the talent that you would have seen go to the Apples, the Googles, the Facebooks of the world, starting to build out new companies on this brand new revolutionary platform called blockchain to ultimately roll out the next evolution of what tech companies look like.
Edmund, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for watching. I'm Jana Burgess.